And Linda, when you are ready, we will start. Okay. I want to call the Circle City Council meeting to order. It is Tuesday, March the 5th, 2024 at 7:48 p.m. We got a late start. We had a lengthy judicial committee meeting, wanted to accommodate our guests, so that's the reason for starting late.
Yeah, thank you.
Linda, could you do a roll call, please?
Brooks,
Here.
Duvall,
Here.
Hallidan,
Hallen is absent. He has a previous commitment.
Hedges,
Here.
Klitschko,
Here.
Moats,
Moats is absent. He also has a previous commitment.
Tice. Here.
Okay. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father, who art
in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Council, you should have received a copy of two sets of minutes. First, from the city council meeting on February the 20th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If there is none, have a motion to approve.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes, please.
So moved by Tom Klitschko, seconded by Sherry Tice. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? You should have also received a copy of the special council meeting held last Tuesday on February 27th, 2024. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Make a motion for passage?
Motion to approve
To approve. Yep.
by Zach Brooks, seconded by Tom Duvall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Minutes will be filed and recorded. Reports from council members or committee reports. Does any council member have a report? Tom Duvall, Chairman of the Service Committee.
We are planning to have a service committee meeting in 1 week at 7:00 p.m. The 12th, I'm sorry.
3/12, 7 p.m. service. Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else? Katie Hedges?
Thank you, President Keller. I have a couple of updates. One is we are trying to schedule a finance meeting for a housekeeping ordinance. We are working on the date still, but hoping to have it sometime next week. Potentially, maybe we can tag on to before or after yours, but as soon as I have the date, we'll send that out. Also wanted to give credit where credit is due. I received a call today from a person who lives in Dublin who has a relative that lives in Circleville. And an older gentleman, he fell, and I guess there were two different calls, one with the fire department, one with the police department today. She called to absolutely rave about the service she received. She went on to say that one of the officers actually followed them to the police station or to Berger, and then was nice enough to wait and take him home and help facilitate getting this gentleman into their house, into his apartment. She was very, very appreciative. So I've already reached out to one of the two chiefs, and we'll follow up with the second one, but I wanted to share that with council because she was very, very pleased with the service she received.
Good to hear. Thank you, Katie. Anyone else? Tom Klitschko?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I've had the privilege of knocking on fellow residents of Circleville doors the last couple weekends, and we'll again be out this weekend. We've got a safety forces levy that is currently on the books, and it will expire at the end of the year. And we actually need to renew. And so the way the ballot is set up, it says basically a tax, and people have thought, and many that I've talked to have said, thanks for the clarification. This is actually a request to renew the levy that we currently have for safety forces for the police, fire, and EMS, and have a new one to begin on the 1st of January of 2025 to continue to the end of 2029. But the misunderstanding is that it's a new tax. It's not. It's actually a continuation request for a renewal of what we currently have, less from a 0.5% income tax down to 0.4. So you get a little bit more money than what we currently have. So it's just to a point is that we really need to get the word out, and we'll continue to knock on doors, and people have been very cordial. I will tell you, they have been very nice. They've said it's police, fire, EMS. Absolutely, we want to support, and we'll continue to touch base because it's good. It helps us out too, because people like to talk about what's happening in the city and things, the good and bad of it. But just let anybody and everybody know that it's a renewal. It's not the way it states you're for it or you're against it. Being forward with the new levy or the new tax is just a continuation or renewal to keep our police force. If in fact we do not pass the levy, renew the levy itself, we're going to lose. We're all going to lose. Right now, I'm talking with fire chief. We don't have money for probably 3 firefighters. At the end of this year, we'd have to let them go. That's not a scare. It's just to a point is that we're growing considerably as we talk. We've got 828 plus properties that are being developed here in Circleville. So we're going to need more of all of the police, fire, and the emergency medicine services and so on. So we really are asking, please look at it from the standpoint that it's a renewal. We're not adding any taxes. In fact, we're going to take a little bit away. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
To just expand on that, on behalf of the PAC, as a reminder, first, thank you to Tom. He has gone door to door on behalf of the PAC multiple times, and we truly appreciate that. And I know President Keller has also supported it, so I appreciate those on council who are supporting it. If you are interested in going door to door, we're doing it this last weekend that we have a scheduled one is the 16th and 17th of March. That is from 1 to 4 p.m., and we are meeting at 544 Clinton Street. If you are interested in participating, we would love to have you.
Great. Yep, that's good to know. Thank you. Any other council member have a report? I would just like to mention prior to tonight's meeting, I went to a public input session that was hosted by Structure Point, the City of Circleville, ODOT, and the Ohio Rail Development Commission. They were going over the grade separation alternatives for Circleville. There is a sheet that people can fill out to give comments, talk about the different options. I've asked the clerk to scan that and email it to council so we can share it with anybody that wants it from us. It is available, and they are taking public comment for another 30 days? Or is it deadline?
30 days.
Yeah, another
From
30
tonight's
days.
meeting.
So again, we want people to weigh in on this grade separation so we can get an understanding what the best alternative is for Circleville.
And I think to add on to that, the public can go to the city website, right? And the information link is there on the homepage at the bottom. So they can click on the link and look at the different options that are being considered for the grade separation.
Yeah, we want to make sure that anybody that does has that option to fill this out.
Yes.
Do not make it tonight, can fill this out and submit their opinions. Thank you, council. Reports from our city officials that are here tonight as our guests. We have the law director and mayor, Kendra or Michelle. Either one of you have a report?
Thank you, President Keller. Just kind of to go over month-end numbers from my office with regards to municipal court prosecutions. My office did close 122 cases this month. It was a short month, but still that's a substantial amount of work. As well as tending to the city affairs, including some negotiations as well as several meetings with various entities. Obviously, we continue to strive to offer not only opinions with regards to pending legislation and contracts, but welcome any input that council would need to aid them in any of their services or projects.
Well, you've already had to give us some advice in the first 3 months, two months actually.
Just a little.
Of your job. So we appreciate you legally guiding us that we're doing everything properly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle?
So to Kendra's point, we are on day 65. The reason that day 65 is important, it was my husband's football number in football. So when it came up and calculated it, that was good to know. So during my run for this position, and thank you to the voters again for trusting me with this position, we had a few things that we wanted to take care of and we wanted to address. The first being the grade separation, which Council President, Councilperson Tice both addressed and provided information for, so I won't belabor that. But one of the others was talking to students that go to Circleville High School. And so last Monday, I spent some time with a group of about 40 kids, teenagers between the ages of 14 and 18, to talk about, what they would want to do with their free time, basically, what they would like to see in the city. And so here are a few of the things that they said. A grocery store on the north end, a basketball court, a nice court with lights surrounded by a fence, and for students who can't afford a Y membership. A skating rink, an escape room, sand volleyball courts, trampoline park, a community center, a place to hang out with people of all ages, including a designated study space. Right now, they're going into restaurants and sitting around restaurant tables to meet with people that they're doing homework with, or people that they're unable to go to one another's houses. They're trying to find a place in the community to do their homework. And so they would like a place to study. Shopping, they brought up parks. They recommended that maybe we do some kind of agreement with those who are incarcerated to do community service to help clean them up. A skate park, music lessons, beneficial for everyone. And then here's where we get the typical responses that we hear. Panera, Steak and Shake, Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Yes.
Cane's,
Yes.
Smoothie King.
Yeah.
What they also said was that they would be interested in a bowling alley, but not for the reasons that we think of a bowling alley. I'm not sure if you're aware, but our school has a bowling team. And so right now, they're taking 30 minutes in their evening to drive to Chillicothe, practice, and then drive back to the city. And so for them, they're trying to be involved, be on a team, be part, learn critical skills, and not just for Friday night, disco night, or anything like that. So I told them after that meeting that I would bring these recommendations to council and provide a report to you on what the group, it was about 40 students. About half of them are taking post-secondary classes. But I was very impressed with some of their answers that they provided, because they were thoughtful, they were community-oriented, not just for themselves. So I wanted to share that with you this evening as one of the priorities that I had during the campaign that we have already started to address, again, in the 65 days. Other updates, we continue to meet with community partners in the administration building, working on projects, etc. I'm not sure if you are aware, but I have a proclamation that I'd like to read. So Stephen, if you could come up to the podium here. So this is a proclamation from the office of the mayor. Whereas Stephen Collins is being honored for his years of service at the Herald and his dedication to the city of Circleville. Whereas Stephen Collins has worked for the Herald for 10 years. During this time, he has covered many city of Circleville related meetings and done an excellent job of providing the public with information from these meetings. And whereas Stephen's support and dedication has helped to keep the residents of Circleville aware of news within their community. And whereas Stephen has made a substantial contribution to providing the community with awareness and information, and whereas Stephen's hard work, dedication, and enthusiasm has been a remarkable gift to the residents of Circleville, now therefore I, Michelle L. Blanton, Mayor of the City of Circleville, do hereby proclaim March 8th, 2024 as Stephen Collins Day in the City of Circleville. So it is with great pleasure that I urge. It's with great pleasure that I urge all citizens of the community to applaud Mr. Collins and wish him well. And it's signed by me, the mayor of the
Excellent.
city.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Push that gate open and have him come up and get a picture. Yeah.
Just like you used to.
Steve,
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Stephen, congratulations. We'll miss you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
PCCM
Award
is
winning.
glad to have you, though.
We will miss you, Stephen.
I wanted to say I appreciate you all for this. That was a little overwhelming. It's been an incredible 10 years, and I look forward to PCSCF. I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to sleep Sunday night because I'm so excited to start work Monday morning. But that was quite an honor, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
That concludes my report, President.
Thank you, Michelle. Does anybody have any questions for the mayor this evening or the law
Mr. Duvall?
director?
Barry,
Yes, sir?
I do.
Go ahead.
And this is a friendly question. Because of our work at Emerine Park, that's going to be a pretty basic basketball court and hoops.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean it can't be put into a fenced, lighted. And was there any feedback to you as far as the location in Circleville where they'd like to see a proper basketball court?
Nope, they didn't care where it was.
So if we would do that, from your understanding of their comments, that might meet that need.
Quite possibly. We've already been working, I've already given this report to the Director of Public Service in the plans for that basketball court at Emerine Park.
Thank you.
Before we move on to the rest of the agenda, I just want to reiterate to everyone, the public, the citizens, our community, the safety levy is in a couple weeks. It's very important for our police and firemen. I encourage anyone, if you have questions, please ask questions to the PAC, to council members. It is administration. It is a very, very important vote for our community. So please do that, okay? This brings us to the portion of where we have the public address city council. Would anyone like to address city council this evening? As Williams comes to the podium, just a reminder, this is where the public can address city council. Your comments are being recorded. You have 5 minutes to speak to city council, and please give us your name and your address.
Okay, it's William Haddix from 531 East Union. And what I wanted to mention, I was out to the fairgrounds this evening listening about the grade separation and all of that, and looked at all the options. And I spoke with just a few random people that just happened to be there. There was a good turnout. And the question that came up was they're wanting input from the citizens on what we think would be the best location and all of that, which is fine. But there's not even a rough idea on cost of any of these different areas. So it's hard to make a determination on, do we want to pick this one, but maybe the one that the people think is best could cost 3 times as much as the next one. And does the money, is that worth it? Or is it worth saving a little bit of money and going with something that may not be the perfect solution, but falls more in line with what, the people think as far as cost? And we shouldn't have to look at cost, but it's a reality. It just is what it is. And I know there are grants and other ways to help pay for it, but none of that is guaranteed. So people would like to have some rough general idea. We know nothing can be perfect and all of that till it's a lot closer to actually being done. But just some ballpark idea of a price tag on these different areas. And I think that would help, and other people said the same, come up with a better idea of what we actually would, want for our city. Our budgets are always kind of thin as it is, and we don't want to stretch things any farther than we absolutely have to, or to find out that the citizens are all dead set on a certain area and then find out it can't be afforded. So then it's just a waste of time all the way around. So it would be nice to have some rough idea of a cost. And of course, like I say, it's never a guarantee, but just some kind of an idea, put us in a ballpark. That way we can make a better judgment on, what we decide to go with. Because like I say, I know there's grants and other ways of getting money, but none of those are guaranteed, and it does have potential to fall back on taxpayer. And that's what people are looking at, is if we are going to have to foot the bill, and nobody's saying that this doesn't need to be done in some shape or form. It definitely is needed, but it is a lot of money, and people just don't have any idea what those dollars could even potentially look like. So it'd be nice to have a rough idea before we make that decision.
Thank you, William. I will say, William, and to the public, it's very preliminary to give a cost estimate. There are multiple alternatives, which each have its own unique circumstance for cost and construction and the build of it. But it's going to be millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
And I will tell you is that Circleville, the city of Circleville, can't do it by itself.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of, hopefully, railroad government help other than the city, state and federal dollars to help build that overpass or grade separation.
Before something is decided on, whether it be by council or whoever, that there are some dollars thrown out at some point.
At some point, William, but we're not to that point.
Right.
Okay, so just sit tight.
Right, but others are just having the same
Yep.
kind of questions.
Yep, thank you. Anyone else like to address city council? Okay. All right. So that brings us to the legislation portion of tonight's meeting. We have no legislation before city council. So that brings us to the new business portion. First of all, we got a couple council members we'd like to excuse. So if we could have a motion to do those. Katie Hedges, motions to excuse
Jeff Allen.
Jeff Hallinan, seconded by Tom Klitzka. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Also,
Make a motion to excuse John Modes.
motion to excuse John Motes, seconded by Tom Duvall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much for doing that. We also have a referral from the Judicial Committee of a BZA applicant. It's for the alternate position. Mr. Fred Kennedy has applied, and the committee has referred him to full council for approval.
I'd like to certainly make a motion that we forward, or actually that we offer Mr. Kennedy the opportunity
Appoint him to the committee.
and appoint him to the BZA as an alternate.
Great, thank you. Seconded by Tom Duvall. Roll call, please, on the motion to appoint Mr. Fred Kennedy to the BZA as an alternate.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duvall,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Kalitzka,
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Thank you very much for offering to serve. We appreciate it very much.
Welcome, Mr. Kennedy.
Any other new business before council this evening?
There was no communication.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. No communications. Thank you, Linda, for catching that. Okay, anything else?
So move.
Motion to adjourn by Tom Duvall, seconded by Sherry Tice. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
City council is adjourned at 8:11 PM. Thank you very much.